Before I ever stepped foot into HVAC school, I had this picture in my head. I thought it'd be plug and play, learn the system, memorize the parts, pass the test, and get a job. That's how my brain painted it, like leveling up in a video game. But the reality, it slapped me hard. What I got wasn't just a class, it wasn't just a trade, it was a full-on identity shift. It wasn't about learning how to repair an AC unit or hook up a furnace. This was about becoming someone new, someone who could show up on the days that felt impossible, someone who could reinvent themselves. If you're watching this right now, maybe you're in one of these three places. One, you're thinking about HVAC school and you're trying to figure out if it's worth it or not. Two, you're already in it and you're either fired up or completely overwhelmed. Three, maybe you're stuck in a job that's draining you dry and you're wondering if the trades are your way out. I made this video for all three of you because here's the truth. HVAC school and the journey that comes with it isn't just technical. It's personal, it's mental, and it's emotional. And if you're not ready for that, you're gonna get rocked hard. But if you lean in, if you embrace the process, if you decide to see this as more than just a program, it can literally change your entire life. Pulling back the curtain, I'm giving you what I wish someone had told me before I even started. I'm keeping it raw, real, and motivating because I'm not here to hand you the polished textbook notes. I'm still in the trenches of HVAC school myself, and I'm still grinding, still fighting, and still learning. But maybe that's exactly why you'll connect with this, because I'm not looking back from the finish line. I'm running the same race you're thinking about stepping into. So buckle up, let's break this down chapter by chapter. And before we jump in, do me a favor, if at any point in this video you catch yourself nodding, feeling fired up, or saying that that's me, hit that like button, drop a comment. I want to hear where you're at in your journey. That's how we build a tribe. Day one hits different. You walk in thinking this is gonna be like high school part two, maybe a little tougher, maybe a little more hands-on, but still manageable. But the pace, the pressure, the way that the material stacks on top of itself, it feels like getting thrown into the deep end of the pool without knowing how to swim. One week it's electrical theory, the next week it's a refrigeration cycle. You're holding tools in your hands, wiring up boards, troubleshooting a system that does not care if you're tired, if you're stressed, or if you studied the night before. That's when you realize this isn't school, this is survival. I remember my first month sitting in class with the schematic in front of me, symbols, numbers. It felt like I was staring at a foreign language. The instructor was moving through it like it was a basic ABC. And the crazy part, nobody was stopping. The class just kept moving forward. That's when it hit me. This isn't just about keeping up. This is about not quitting. Because HVAC doesn't slow down, the industry doesn't slow down, and the school definitely doesn't slow down. And I had to learn survival skills fast. At first I thought failure was something to avoid, like it was a mark against me, but in HVAC, mistakes are part of the process. Blow a fuse, mess up a wiring diagram, that's how you learn. The faster you fail, the faster you learn. The difference between someone who makes it and someone who doesn't isn't the one who never fails, it's the one who bounces back faster. Ask questions even when it stings your pride. At first I didn't want to raise my hand, I didn't want to look dumb, but the longer I stayed quiet, the more behind I got. The day I swallowed my pride and started asking, everything changed. This program, this trade, it doesn't just teach you how to fix machines, it teaches you how to handle pressure, how to stay calm in the storm, how to adapt. If you're watching this and you've never been in class or a job where you felt like you were drowning, I want you to know you're not alone. The people who admit they're lost are the ones who find their way faster. Now let's talk mindset. This is where most people tap out, not because they aren't capable, but because their mind convinces them that they aren't. You're gonna feel behind, you're gonna feel lost, you're gonna question whether you belong. That voice in your head will say you're not cut out for it, that you should quit, that you should go back to what's safe. And here's the truth, that's completely normal. HVAC school doesn't just test your knowledge, it tests your identity. It forces you to confront your insecurities and your habits and your excuses. You start to realize that your success isn't about talent, it's about consistency. It's about showing up when you're tired, studying when you'd rather scroll, practicing when nobody's watching. I can't tell you how many nights I sat in my car after class just staring at the dashboard, no music, no phone, just me, the silence, and the question, am I really cut out for this? Every single time it came down to that choice, fold or fight, I chose to fight. That's the secret nobody talks about. HVAC school and honestly life, it's about deciding again and again to keep swinging, to take another step when your legs are shaking, to keep showing up when your brain is screaming for you to quit. Discipline beats motivation. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is that fire that keeps burning when the spark goes out. Consistency beats talent. I've seen classmates way smarter than me tap out because they couldn't stay consistent. I've seen people who struggle at first eventually crush it because they've never stopped showing up. Resilience beats doubt. That voice in your head doesn't go away, but you can drown it out with action. So if you're sitting there questioning yourself, let me be the voice in your ear right now. You are capable, you do belong, you just need to keep going. Here's the part that nobody teaches you: how to learn. Not how to memorize, but how to actually absorb, apply, and retain. When you're thrown into a trade like HVAC, you can't just cram the night before and expect to thrive. You've got to build your own system, your own rhythm, your own way of breaking down complex ideas into something that you can use on the job. For me, it was repetition, flashcards, talking out loud, explaining concepts to myself in the mirror like I was teaching a class. At first it felt awkward, but then it clicked. The more I explained it out loud, the more it stuck. Some nights I'd pace around my room saying out loud, okay, the refrigerant absorbs the heat at the evaporator coil, it carries it to the condenser coil where it releases the heat to the outside air. Say it again, say it again until it was automatic. I realized I had to become a student of my own brain. What works for me, what doesn't. How do I stay focused when the material gets dry? How do I stay motivated when the results don't come fast? Nobody hands you that playbook. You gotta write it yourself. And once you do, everything changes, because now you're not just surviving the program, you're absolutely owning it. So if you're in school, start experimenting. Maybe you're a visual learner. Maybe you need to write things down. Maybe you need to record your voice and play it back on the way to class. Whatever works, do it. That's how you take control of your education instead of letting it take control of you. This is where things shifted for me. I didn't just want to learn HVAC. I wanted to document the process, to show people what it's like to start from absolutely zero, to struggle, to grow, to evolve. So I started filming, not because I had all the answers, but because I had questions and I knew someone out there needed to see the journey, not just the polished end result. I learned how to speak with clarity, how to break down concepts in a way that made sense, how to share the wins and the losses without sugarcoating anything. And here's what happened. People started connecting, not because I was perfect, because I was so real. That's the power of documentation. It's not about showing off, it's about sharing the process. And when you do that, create an impact beyond yourself. So if you're in HVAC school, I challenge you, document it, journal it, film it, share it. Someone out there needs your story. Let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about HVAC. This is about who you become in the process. You start to see yourself differently. You stop chasing approval and you start chasing mastery. You stop waiting for permission and you start taking ownership. You realize that grit isn't just a buzzword. It's a lifestyle. It's waking up early. It's staying up late. It's choosing growth over comfort every single time. And the best part, you start to attract people who are on the same path. Classmates, mentors, viewers. You build a tribe, a community, and a movement. That's what this is about. It's not just a trade, it's a transformation. So if you're watching this and you're choosing growth over comfort, I want to talk to you, the person watching this who's on the fence. Maybe you're stuck, maybe you're scared, maybe you're wondering if you got what it takes. Let me be absolutely real with you. You do. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Start messy, start scared, start unsure, but start. Because once you do, you'll discover a version of yourself you didn't even know existed. One that's focused, driven, resilient, one that doesn't back down when things get hard. And if you're already in the trenches, keep going. You're building something real, something valuable, something that lasts. So take the step, apply to that program, study that extra hour, pick up that tool. Your future self will thank you for not quitting. This is just the beginning. You're not just learning HVAC, you're learning how to build, how to lead, how to grow. And if you're ready to take that next step, I'm right here with you. Drop a comment, share your story, subscribe if you're about that life, because we're not just fixing systems, we're fixing mindsets, we're building legacies.